So it's pretty much confirmed at this point. Vice City is back, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, that's right. Yep. We all saw the GTA 6 leaks. Vice City is pretty much confirmed to be the location for the new installment. Now, obviously, this delighted a lot of fans, and even if it was a close match, you guys seem to agree, you liked the choice. GTA Vice City was not only a GTA icon, it pretty much defined the whole gaming era. However, the GTA 6 leaks also showed us that the current era for the game to be set in is of a somewhat modern post-2020s. But is Vice City an actual good idea? Now, before you get mad at me, this video isn't really about trashing Vice City. You know, like those guys like, oh, the map is too small. Your dick is small, but your girlfriend still likes it. See what I did there? I went positive. Bitch. Because Vice City isn't a bad map at all. Even though GTA San Andreas for me was my favorite, I can understand why Vice City is so many people's favorite. It's by far the most iconic. You think of Vice City, you think of Al Pacino in the Scarface shit. Say hello to my little friend. Or say hello to my little microtransactions because it's, you know, post-2020, so. You think of Miami Vice. You obviously think of Miami being the real-life counterpart of Vice City, which was, in the 80s, the most GTA thing of all GTAs. Drugs, drug-fueled violence, drug-fueled bands, drug-fueled lawyers, drug-fueled everything, to be honest. But Miami in the 2020s? Don't take this the wrong way, Miami isn't a boring place. But of course, it wasn't what it used to be in the 80s. And thank God for that, because if you actually live in Miami, I would think you prefer to live in a city whose biggest problem right now is plastic titties, instead of all that drug trafficking that was happening in the 80s. I don't think being a GTA location candidate is worth that much, okay? But we do have to consider the time period where this game is gonna take place in. My video in a certain way collides with Badger Gujar's, probably butchering the name, I know, I'm sorry, latest video about GTA 6 being a timepiece like every other GTA before. Even though he's just focused on the when you add that to the fact that it happens in Vice City, I have to say it's not the most optimistic scenario for me. With GTA 3 you had early 2000s Brody, New York, riddled with organized crime. With GTA Vice City, Miami in the 80s, that's enough said, really. With GTA San Andreas you had early 1990s, with raising racial tensions and gang wars in the West Coast, with GTA 4 being the first where the game actually took place at the same time of production, meaning around late 2000s. Yet it still mastered the perspective of a New York and New Jersey in transition. And with GTA 5 becoming the first where I felt like the city was a little more bland than the other maps, but it still was mostly representative of the new Hollywood perspective that we have so much focus on the entertainment. So when they give me GTA 6 with modern day Miami, I have to ask a few questions. What is there really? It's obvious why they want to take the modern approach. It's so that they can make their wacky GTA Online even wackier, because certainly there's going to be a 2.0 version of that shit. Now, of course, Rockstar is really good at doing time period pieces like, you know, Red Dead Redemption 2, that were basically the late 1800s, I believe. But obviously that didn't mean shark cards. But couldn't they have picked like Las Venturas, which would be the real-life counterpart of Las Vegas? Of course that Vegas changed over the years, but it's still pretty much the gambling sin city. Even San Fierro, that is San Francisco basically, was a great addition to the GTA universe. All you have to do is look at Watch Dogs 2 that did take place in San Francisco. They knew that if they wanted to make a game about this technological world that we live today, they would want to go to San Francisco. I'm not saying that Rockstar has to do the same, but integrating the location with a time period is extremely important for a game like this. Personally, I was up for a new map, a new location. Something like Chicago. I don't know. Detroit would be a great idea because that shit is already like a a war zone mixed with an urban space. Even though they're recovering, so that would also be a pretty cool addition to see how they would tackle the economical situation of Detroit today. Now, of course, they can still mitigate this with Vice City in the 2000s and GTA 6, as long as they don't do the same mistake as they did in GTA 5, where the world didn't feel lively, like the paths were so disconnected from you. The world didn't really interact with you. Even with GTA 4, you had people running away from the rain with newspapers on their heads and shit that made you feel like, yeah, this is immersive. But if they do integrate a lively world like we have in Red Dead Redemption 2, which they absolutely nailed it, with a variety of scenarios and animations and interactions, variables even, yeah, that would work. That's what I'm looking forward to, because at this point Vice City is locked in. All in all, I feel like Rockstar is walking on a very thin ice if GTA 6 doesn't turn out to be what we were hoping for, and Vice City will innocently suffer, and it's a very beloved thing to mess with. And to me, this could be called quite neutral, since it's not my favorite. But you, the viewer that loves Vice City, how will you react?